It looks like it's finally the end for SWTOR. It's been a good run, what can I say? Some good memories.
My friends, today we're talking about something that is probably going to disappoint a lot of people, or maybe it's going to fill people with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of hope for
How?
the future. We're going to talk about the future of Star Wars The Old Republic, the big Star Wars MMO, and what is in store for the
Is
future
there a
of this
future?
game. So, if you haven't heard the recent news, BioWare is actually going to stop development of Star Wars The Old Republic. Now, before you freak out and before you say,
Honestly, I'm surprised it survived that long. The campaigns, some of them, absolute peak perfection, honestly. Very good, very entertaining, good choices, good everything. But overall, the game was kind of mid-ish. It's more about the campaign and lore, honestly, because that was the true SWTOR that most people know.
oh man, the game is dead now. Hold on a second. BioWare is stopping development of SWTOR because they're going to transfer the development of this game to a company called Broadsword. Now, if you don't know who Broadsword
I
is, they are
don't.
the company that maintains the two games Ultima Online and Dark Age of Camelot. But
Are we happy about that? Aren't those two games kind of like super microtransaction heavy or something like that? I'm not sure, but I think I remember something about that.
before you guys ask, yes, Broadsword is going to manage the development of SWTOR going forward, but the game's overall management, not the content creation, but the overall management of the game is still going to
EA.
be overseen by EA. Yes,
Sad.
EA, Electronic
Sad.
Arts, everybody's favorite gaming
Oh
company.
boy.
As you can imagine, this announcement has come with a very mixed response from the SWTOR player base, as well as people who may be interested in playing Star Wars The Old Republic in the future. Let's just put some numbers on the table here. Ultima Online is a popular MMO, especially when it first came
Is it?
out, but right now it's probably averaging only about 4,000 players a day. And Dark Age of Camelot,
But isn't that game like super old? Isn't that game like prehistoric at that point? 4,000 players. It's probably all bots if I think about it.
is an MMO that's averaging about 3,000 if my Google foo is good enough and I got these numbers accurately. So
Okay.
nowadays, these are pretty small MMOs, but they are still getting updates to my understanding and from what I have heard and been told and what I saw while
Interesting.
Googling around. So it's not like SWTOR's development is just completely dead in the water, like we're never going to see a new expansion.
Look at that though. The graphics are still pretty fire, you know? It's not actually that bad. Can you tell that this game is 12 years old? Most people probably wouldn't.
Or anything. In fact, BioWare's general manager, Greg McKay, has assured the player base that the development of SWTOR will continue and that this move is not going to cancel any already being worked on plans and
Well, we can hope, but we know how corporate promises usually go, though.
features for the game. A direct quote, he said that players, quote, will continue to enjoy the SWTOR that they know and that they love. Star Wars The Old
There's a
Republic
mosquito
doesn't
somewhere
get
here.
expansions all too often compared to games like Elder Scrolls Online, for example, but the expansions that SWTOR does get is always rich with a lot of storytelling. People are big fans of the characters. People love Star Wars The Old Republic, and so again, there's questions to be said about whether or not
Didn't
Broadsword
get
can
it.
pull off the storytelling that BioWare is so well known for. But apparently we're going to get more stories. Apparently we're going to get more stuff. Otherwise, this
That's
guy,
good.
Mr. McKay, is a big liar. But yes, we'll see. Nonetheless, though,
I wonder, though, how successful can it be if SWTOR's biggest appeal was literally the story? I mean, the gameplay was fine, but the story was, again, where it's literally at. And I don't think people are going to disagree with that on a huge basis.
players are really divided about this new announcement. I actually ran a poll over on Twitter asking people what they thought about this change of, well, development management from BioWare to Broadsword. And I was actually surprised to find that the answers or the results of that poll were pretty well balanced. It was almost split perfectly, 20
I got a bad feeling, Max. Sounds okay. Great news. People are more positive than anything. Interesting.
5% for each option that
Unexpected.
I gave. Some people are very optimistic and they think this is a great change because right now, BioWare, I mean, they really haven't been pumping out all that much when it comes to Star Wars The Old Republic, and there are bugs and problems with the game that still need to
True.
be fixed that players have been asking BioWare to fix for I don't even know how long. When I was playing Star Wars The Old Republic actively and I was leveling up my recent Sith Warrior, I was seeing it in the general chats, in my Twitch chat, tons of people saying that, hey, this game's great, but it does not get the love and attention that it deserves from the company who manages it. So some people are praising.
Those are probably hardcore Star Wars fans, if we're being real. If we're being real, those are most likely hardcore Star Wars fans. Nothing wrong with that. That's cool because, you know, the game's kind of worth it for them. But an update would be nice. And, you know, an update and then actually caring about the game from a company would be even more awesome. So we can kind of hope for that.
This idea that BioWare is surrendering the reins of the development and giving it to another company who possibly is going to be more competent and is going to care more about the community and their feedback. However, there is of course also the less optimistic side of things where a lot of people are assuming that SWTOR is pretty much dead now. This company, Broadsword, they're not really a game development company. They're more of like a game maintenance company in that they're going to maintain Star Wars The Old Republic. They're going to keep the servers running and stuff. But in regards to big expansions and, you know, big hopes and dreams that SWTOR is going to release some sort of new patch, expansion, or feature in the future that's going to bring back
maybe a battle pass or two.
Thousands of players to the game, those dreams have been completely crushed by this. For all intents and purposes, people are saying that SWTOR has now officially died as an MMO. Or if it hasn't died, it is on its last leg, definitely.
Technically
it also
agreeable.
hasn't helped that this decision of transferring the development of SWTOR to Broadsword has also brought with it layoffs behind the scenes. So a lot of the people who have worked on Star Wars The Old Republic, or maybe I shouldn't say a lot, we don't...
Well, if 10-year-old bugs couldn't have been fixed when they had 20 people working on the game, maybe with 5 they will finally be able to do it. Let's hope.
Don't know the exact number. I guess several or a good number of people who worked on Star Wars The Old Republic, they've been laid off. They're not needed anymore, and they're going to go find new jobs at EA, like, you know, in other parts of the company for other games. So where does this leave Star Wars The Old Republic in regards to whether it's going to be a, you know, like revived by Broadsword and their creativity, or if it's just going to be sitting in maintenance mode with no real content going forward? I mean, what is the future of SWTOR?
It most likely is maintenance mode, honestly. The people who are going to come to the game literally will come for the story, and, well, that's pretty much most likely it. And after the story, they're probably going to leave. Me and my friend played that game a long time ago. We did the story and never kind of looked back, honestly, you know, because the story was fun and interesting and cool and well done for the most part. Twi'lek waifus.
It's anybody's guess. Now, for this last little segment of the video, I wanted to spend a moment just sharing my own opinions on this as somebody who has recently been playing SWTOR, who has leveled up a character to max, who does enjoy playing this game every now and then in the background with my friends, and I just want to share a few thoughts of my own personal opinions. I'm a very big optimist when it comes to games. I very much am. I mean, I've been playing World of Warcraft for 18 years, despite all the crazy...
Well, if you're playing World of Warcraft a lot, yeah, you should probably be an optimist. Otherwise, it's probably not gonna work.
And the controversies that have surrounded Blizzard Entertainment. And I love MMORPGs. It's my favorite genre of video game. It's why this entire YouTube channel is dedicated to me covering and talking about MMORPGs.
Yeah, obviously.
But the truth of the matter, as much as I hate to say it, is the fact that I don't really, in my opinion, as a sort of more casual SWTOR player, I don't really see Broadsword being the company that is going to revive Star Wars The Old Republic, bring it into a new light. And when people say that SWTOR is pretty much dead at this point, when they say, yeah, this is probably it. The game is pretty much going.
You know what's the big take here? The fact that they wanna slowly just put this on life support and kind of move away from it is that maybe there's a new game coming up. That's a huge possibility. That is an absolute huge possibility because everyone kind of loves Star Wars. The newest movies with Rey Palpatine and the bestest girl ever have literally proven that Star Wars fans are gonna really, 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 really dig into anything Star Wars. So, a new game would be absolutely on point at this point, in my opinion. That's a point. Nice.
In a maintenance mode, I kind of agree with this, especially considering the fact that Broadsword themselves, not from what I've seen anyway, they themselves have not put out any sort of statement saying, hey guys, don't worry, we're working on this expansion right now, and then we're going to be working on this patch and these new changes to PvP or whatever. We haven't really gotten any of that. We've just gotten a SWTOR developer saying, hey guys, don't worry, all right? Content is still going to come. Trust us. Is that actually the case? Do we actually have a lot of content to look forward to with SWTOR? I don't know. I really don't.
Probably
I would love
not.
it if Broadsword, though, just said, you know what? Hey, we're getting this game. We're getting this game SWTOR. And it has a lot of potential. It is the Star Wars MMO right now. People love Star Wars. Like, you can't go wrong with Star Wars. I mean, goodness gracious. They could spend their time really fixing and breathing new life into Star Wars The Old Republic, fixing issues in the end game, fixing the bugs that pollute this game, fixing frame rate issues and small things like that, optimization problems. They could create a new UI. They could do, there's a lot of stuff that they could do behind the scenes for Star Wars The Old Republic to bring new players into the game, people like me. Star Wars is such a massive universe with so much stuff that you could potentially put and insert into an MMO. From new ways to explore the Force as a Force-using character, to new ways to customize and create weapons and armor if you're a non-Force user, to protect yourself from, the Force lightning, Force pushes, whatever it might be. The Force in and of itself and the technological aspect of Star Wars The Old Republic creates a huge opportunity for content creation. Dude, man, why can't we make our own droid, for example, in Star Wars The Old Republic? This would be so
good
cool,
question.
Being able to construct a droid and having like our own custom-made droid companion following us around. How cool would that be? Right? A custom-made HK-47 or something with its own paint job that we decided on. It actually surprises me that SWTOR does not do better in the current market, especially with just how much people love Star Wars. Yeah, Disney.
It's an old game. It's understandable that it doesn't do that well. Again, it's worth it, but a game being worth it is not gonna be enough nowadays when people look at it. Oh, this is 10 plus years old at this point. Oh, not a lot of people are currently playing. No one wants to play a dead game. And the reality of is SWTOR does look like a dead game to most people. And that's why people are not going to play it, because they don't want to waste their time, They get to max level, be it, in I don't know how long, a month, maybe a week. I don't know how fast the leveling is now, no idea. But, they don't want to spend the time and then understand, wait a minute, that there's no one playing. It's impossible to fight a raid, it's impossible to do this and that. People just don't want to do it. People just will not do it.
Disney kind of has dropped the ball a lot when it comes to Star Wars in many ways, but people still love the universe and they love the Old Republic universe. And maybe it's possible that maybe Broadsword could create a way for maybe, SWTOR to get away from that sort of single player MMO stereotype that it, so unfortunately has. Maybe offering that option to people if they want to engage in a really story-driven MMO, or maybe creating a way where people don't have to engage in that. And they can just play the game like a traditional MMO experience. You just open up the quest and it's just a little big thing of text. You don't have to listen to a bunch of voice acting. I don't know. I played through Star Wars The Old Republic recently as that Sith warrior, and I had a great time playing it. I had an awesome time in the dungeons, with the community, in the battlegrounds, with my guild, Barks Root Beer.
Doesn't sound like the game's dead, though. But again, people will see it as something dead because no one's talking about it, No big things.
It was awesome. And when it comes to MMOs in general, whether it's WoW or ESO or Star Wars: The Old Republic, I want there to always be a successful, well-maintained, and well-driven team that is pushing a high-quality MMO product for that gamer who wants to dive into whatever particular universe they decide. I want the Star Wars fan to be able to play a Star Wars MMO that's badass. The Warcraft fan to be able to play the World of Warcraft MMO and it is badass. The Elder Scrolls fan to be like, man, I want to play Elder Scrolls Online and it's badass. And I hope, it is my prayer, that Broadsword Online picks up the mantle and makes some dramatic changes and does things that is going to take us all by surprise. And you better believe that here on Nixium, I'm going to be watching them very closely, and we're going to be documenting the entire journey, and we're going to see what Broadsword Online does with this beloved MMO. Guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Big shout out to our members here on the YouTube channel.
And that's Nixium, by the way. Good stuff. Hopeful. But I think they're going to make a new game. Because we don't have any kind of Star Wars MMO currently. And if this is on now life support, well, I think they're going to make a new one. It's a slow transition, you know. I think that's a high possibility, a high probability, you know. That could be great. I'm looking forward to that if that happens. So, at the end, let's hope it does happen, because that would be awesome. Anyway, this was Quizzer Since, and thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye!